Viewer discretion is advised for this one. We're going to get into topics of DV, SA, child SA and transphobia. So proceed with a little bit of caution. This is going to be a heavy one. This tweet crossed my path today about a lady called Nicola Murray. She's the founder of the Brodie's Trust support group for DV and has been found guilty of physical and SA of 4 children. So I did some research and I found this article from July 2022 talking about Nicola Murray and the Brodie's Trust, and it reads, a bereaved mum who suffered 2 horrific miscarriages at the hands of violent ex-partners is campaigning to help others in similar circumstances. So far, so good. Nicola Murray, aged 44, wants tougher laws on assaults that lead to pregnancy loss after uncovering shock statistics that reveal thousands of expectant women are facing violence. She lost 2 of her own babies in 2013 and 2017 and started a charity to help others. Now that's the Brodie's Trust. So far, so good. She's a bereaved mother who's trying to help other people who are in similar situations. So why am I talking about her? Because the Brodie's Trust has refused to refer women to shelters that allows trans women. She's a gender critical. But instead of actually targeting the violent men in her life that gave her all of this grief, she has turned her attention and anger onto the trans community and onto children. A high-profile DA activist has been found guilty of carrying out a shocking campaign of physical and SA against 4 children. Nicola Murray SA'd 2 victims by forcing her tongue into their mouths and freely talked about her life to another child, including describing the size of her lover's penis. Murray, 46, forced one child to view an explicit image she had taken of a man she was dating and indecently another after stripping them naked. Murray's campaign of terror also included blaming one child for causing her to suffer a miscarriage and restricting the breathing of another by smothering their face with a pillow. So are you blaming the child for you losing your baby, or was it not your violent ex? Like, I don't get it. Why are you blaming a child for that? She also attacked the children by punching, kicking and slapping them to the head and body over several years, while she also repeatedly pushed one youngster down a flight of stairs. Further disturbing incidents saw Murray drag a young child out of a top bunk bed onto the floor and branded another child the T-slur after they had styled their hair to look like their favourite pop star, Pink. Pink, who isn't trans, by the way. It's one of those instances of, oh, you've cut your hair short, oh, you must be trans. There's no other explanation. But no, it was just a child wanting to look like their favourite pop star. A cis woman, by the way. But no, that was enough to not only attack this child for how they looked, but to drag them out of the top bunk of a bed onto the floor. It's heinous. It's absolutely outrageous. All the abuse took place at addresses in West Lothian and Perthshire over a 20-year period. And Murray was arrested and charged after one victim bravely came forward and reported her in 2022. It's now 2025. Why did that take so long? Murray is a prominent domestic abuse campaigner and set up the Brodie's Trust support group that advocates for women who have lost babies through domestic violence or forced termination. Now, why am I talking about this? It's absolutely disgraceful, and anyone who does this to children deserves everything that they feckin' get. She's a gender critical anti-trans activist who supports an awful lot of people like Posey Parker, J.K. Rowling, the Terf organisation that took trans rights away from us at the Supreme Court in the UK a couple of weeks ago, and none of them are talking about it. If this had been a trans woman, this would have been internationally televised. All of these TERFs would have been on this like flies on shit, and we wouldn't have heard the end of it. But there's a double standard, and there's always been a double standard, where if they do something wrong, they're dead silent about it. They'll sing her praises for her involvement in the anti-trans movement. They'll fund her organisation, claiming that it's for the protection of children, while they are the ones who are a danger to children. Look at the state of this. But no, if this had been a trans woman, and not to be that guy, but I'm gonna be that guy. If you had shown her picture to any TERF or far-right person, they would have said that that was a trans woman. Do you know what I mean? Like their beauty standards for women are so so egregious that they would have absolutely claimed that this was a trans woman, and none of them are saying anything. This tweet is directed to Posey Parker, one of the leading far-right anti-trans organisation activists. So what about the victims of Nicola Murray? Can you spare any words for them, or even acknowledge your part in giving other people's money to their abuser? Nothing. Terfs won't like anyone mentioning Nicola Murray. They won't openly condemn her, only doing so when pushed. They were the same about Lily Cad, happy to praise her involvement in the Terf community, stonily silent when everyone found out she forced herself on women in toilets. Wait, hold on. Oh my god, a photo of Lily Cad, who is apparently a that writes violent fantasies about what? The photo is the exact same one from the article written by the BBC, which attempts to frame transgender women as predatory towards cis women. When everyone found out she forced herself on women in toilets. No, but trans people are the issue, right? Trans people are the issue. Not one word from the UK's gender critical community about one of their favourite anti-trans activists, Nicola Murray, being exposed as a... not a single word. Not a single word. As far as I am aware, Nicola Murray is the same person referred to in this Telegraph story from 2022, where this person and this person went to bat for her after the police visited her over a tweet. These are the people who are taking rights away from trans people at the Supreme Court, batting for her, coming to her defence. But now that she's been outed as a terrible person, stone silence. Absolutely nothing. And like I say, if this had been a trans person, it would have been all over the news and they wouldn't have shut up about it. There's a double standard going on here. And somebody took a video of all the people that follow her and support her on Twitter, and there's For Women Scotland right there, the campaign activist group that went to the Supreme Court and got trans rights taken away from her. There they are. There's Sex Matters right there. Another organisation in Scotland that is very, very anti-trans. These are the people that are saying all this about trans people. These are the people that are saying that trans people are forcing themselves on people in bathrooms. And it's them that's doing that. We watched a tweet in my last video of someone stalking a trans person out of a bathroom. The trans person was doing nothing wrong. They were walking away, minding their own business, but the TERF was the one saying that I was going to confront them in the bathroom. I was going to film them in the bathroom. These are all things that they're accusing trans people of doing. They're also saying, like, keep trans people away from our children. You guys are fucking groomers. This, that, and the next thing. And then here we are, another TERF being outed for not only essaying children, but using the T slur to attack them when they just get a haircut to look like their favourite pop star. And none of them are talking about it. They're still following this woman. They're still donating to this woman, they're still caring about this woman. And I know that a lot of them are going to say, like, oh, just because one of them is bad doesn't mean that they're all bad. Why do you say that about trans people then? Again, the double standard. One trans person does something bad, all trans people must be condemned. No. You've had a run-in with a violent man, and now people are telling you, well, that's all trans people are. Trans people are just violent men. No, use your critical thinking. Step away from that. But then you've got to think to yourself, do they want to use their critical thinking? Do they want to step away from that? Are these people just cemented and rooted in hatred, so much so that they are now not only taking it out on the trans community, but they're taking it out on the children that are supposed to be in their care? And why are they so deadly silent about it? Probably because it harms their narrative. Probably because it paints them out to be terrible people. If it's not about shitting on trans people, then there's no story for them. But if this had been a trans person, their feeds would have been flooded with reporting on it. It would have been across social media everywhere. But because this wasn't a trans person, because this was one of their own, nothing. It's giving Jimmy Savile of the highest order. It's giving Jimmy Savile hiding behind, doing good for children, protecting women who are victims of DV, DA, to the point where they lose their children. We have no idea where this money went. People are speculating that the money that was raised for the Brodies Trust to help women didn't actually go to the women. We're not entirely sure though, that's all alleged, but we don't know for certain, especially when it's someone who treats children this way. There's an awful lot of projection going on. The trans community, like I said, has always been a scapegoat for people to direct anger towards, to hide their own conviction. She was doing this behind closed doors, but these are the people that the government is now listening to, claiming that they're trying to protect children from the tyranny of trans people, whilst the people who are claiming that trans people are the problem are the ones abusing children behind closed doors. It's just boggles the brain to think that this has been going on for 20 years, and the only reason we know about it is because 3 years ago, one of the kids finally said enough. And yet she has the audacity to claim that trans people are the problem. It's ridiculously double standard. It's ridiculously horrible. I hope she gets all the time. I think she only got 3 years. I'm not sure. I think I read somewhere that she only got 3 years. She should have got more. And if she's out here advocating for tougher sentences on people who commit DV, DA, then it should be applied to her. It should be applied to her. Tougher sentences for people who abuse children. Let's go. There's a lot of hate in the world right now, and it's very difficult to make jokes about stuff like this. I didn't want this to be like an overly joke-heavy video when the topic was so serious. I hope those kids are now in the safest place and they never have to go through stuff like that again. And I hope that all the campaigning that Nicola Murray has done for tougher sentences against DA actually work, and she gets a tougher sentence, because nobody, I think, deserves it more than someone who abuses children. It's absolutely devastating and disgusting. I don't want this video to go on too long. It's pretty heavy, but let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Have you even heard about this before I even brought it up? Did you know who Nicola Murray was before I even mentioned it to you? I think the message that I want people to take away from this video is, remember, please look out for each other. But that's just my 2 cents. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. If you've enjoyed this video, as heavy as it was, do consider liking and subscribing. I promise not all of my videos will be this heavy-handed. The next video I'm going to make is going to be something light-hearted and fun. I promise, I swear. I just thought it was very important to bring light to this situation, just because people are being absolutely targeted for the wrong reasons and absolutely harmed by the people who are doing the harming and who are doing the attacking. So I just wanted to remind everybody that the trans community is being targeted by people who are actually assaulting children. Anyway, thank you guys very much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. See you guys.